I never loved you. Those 4 words didn't just echo in the room. They shattered something deep inside Andrew Carter, something he didn't even realize was still holding him together. The note trembled slightly in his hands as if it too carried the weight of the truth. It wasn't written in anger nor in haste. It was precise, cold, final. Before we go any further, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet power of love that doesn't always look perfect, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stories like this remind us what really matters. Andrew stood alone in the penthouse apartment overlooking downtown Chicago, the city lights flickering like distant memories. His wife, Victoria Hayes Carter, had always been the embodiment of perfection, sharp, elegant, and untouchable. A corporate powerhouse known across the country, she carried herself like someone who had never lost a single battle. And now, she had walked out of his life just as effortlessly as she had entered it 5 years ago. To the outside world, their marriage looked like a dream. A successful architect and a rising corporate executive, attending gala dinners, smiling for cameras, living in a glass palace above the city. But behind those walls, silence had grown like a quiet storm. Conversations turned into schedules, laughter turned into obligations, and love, well, Andrew wasn't sure when it had last existed. He sank onto the couch, reading the note again. It wasn't long, but every word cut deeper than the last. Victoria had written about ambition, about how she had always prioritized success over emotion. She admitted that she had married him not out of love, but out of convenience, because he was kind, stable, and safe. She said she respected him, but never loved him. And then, at the very end, there was something that didn't match the cold tone of the rest. A final message. Andrew's fingers tightened as he unfolded the second page. This one was different. The handwriting wasn't as perfect. It looked rushed, almost shaky. She wrote about regret. She wrote about moments she had ignored. The way he always waited up for her no matter how late she came home. The way he remembered every small detail about her. The way he never once raised his voice even when she pushed him away. She confessed that somewhere along the way she had started to feel something she didn't understand and didn't know how to handle. Instead of facing it, she ran. At the bottom of the page was an address. No explanation, no instructions, just an address in a quiet town outside the city. Andrew didn't know why, but something inside him stirred. For the first time since reading the note, his heartbreak was mixed with something else. Curiosity, maybe even hope. It didn't make sense. After everything she had written, why leave this behind? The next morning he found himself driving out of Chicago, leaving behind the towering buildings and fast-paced chaos. The address led him to a small coastal town in Michigan, a place where the air felt softer and time moved slower. The house was modest, nothing like the penthouse. White walls, a wooden porch, and a small garden in front that looked like it had been carefully tended. Andrew stepped out of the car, his heart pounding in a way it hadn't in years. The door was unlocked. Inside, the house felt lived in, warm. There were no expensive decorations, no polished marble floors. Instead, there were books, photographs, and sunlight pouring through open windows. And then he saw it. A wall filled with pictures, not of Victoria's corporate achievements, not of business events or award ceremonies. These were different. They were moments, real unguarded moments. Andrew laughing in the kitchen, Andrew fixing something in the apartment, Andrew asleep on the couch with a book in his hand, photos he didn't even know existed. His chest tightened as he walked closer. Every picture told a story he hadn't realized she had been paying attention to. Every frame captured a version of him that he thought had gone unnoticed. On a small table beneath the photos was another letter. This one was shorter. Victoria wrote that she had been coming to this house for months, trying to understand herself, trying to figure out why she couldn't feel the way she thought she should. She admitted that she had been afraid of being vulnerable, afraid of losing control, afraid of needing someone. But most of all, she was afraid of hurting him. She wrote that leaving him was the only way she thought she could stop pretending. But the truth was, she had already hurt him far more by staying distant. She didn't ask for forgiveness. She didn't ask him to come after her. She only wanted him to see this place, to see that even someone like her, someone who claimed she never loved him, had been quietly collecting pieces of him all along. Andrew sat down, the weight of everything finally crashing over him. For years he had thought he was invisible to her, that his love had been one-sided, unnoticed. But now, sitting in that quiet house, surrounded by proof of her silent attention, he realized something heartbreaking and beautiful at the same time. She had seen him. She just didn't know how to love him. Hours passed as Andrew sat there, thinking, feeling, remembering. He realized that love isn't always loud or obvious. Sometimes it's hidden behind fear, buried under ambition, or lost in the chaos of life. But that didn't mean it wasn't real. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow through the windows, Andrew stood up. For the first time in a long time, he felt clarity. Not about Victoria, not about what would happen next, but about himself. He deserved more than silent love. He deserved someone who could not only see him but also choose him openly, without fear. Before leaving, he placed the letters back on the table. He didn't take anything with him. Not the photos, not the memories. Those belonged to her. But he carried something else with him: understanding, growth, and the quiet strength to move forward. If this story touched your heart even a little, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Stories like this remind us that love isn't always simple, but it always teaches us something valuable. And before we end, I have a special request for you. Comment below the word healing if you believe that even broken hearts can find peace again. As Andrew drove away from the small house, the sky fading into shades of purple and blue, he didn't feel empty anymore. He felt free. Because sometimes the most painful goodbyes are the ones that lead us back to ourselves.